Welcome back, you all. Stranger Things Season 4 Volume 2. Exactly what to expect. Who dies? Who makes it? As you all must have known, all is not well in Hawkins, and it's about to get even worse. Every heart has been set on a race as the second volume of Stranger Things Season 4 is about to catch up with us. Set to be premiered on the 1st of July 2022. As it stands right now, in advance of heartbreaking conclusions, which is the current hype of the second volume of Season 4, fans should brace themselves up and be ready for uncountable heart twitches. Wait, the Volume 2 trailer, released on the 21st of June 2022, warned that Eleven's friends are in unimaginable danger. That is something to give some thought, guys, as to how it will happen. I deem it a perfect stop to give shout out to Barbara, in person of Shannon Pursuer, Bob, in real life in Astin, Alexi, Alec Woodgoff by real name, and Billy, known in real life as Dacre Montgomery. The coming volume looks unafraid to kill off more of our beloved characters, so I hope you copy. Brace up, guys. I repeat, brace up. Right there in the Volume 2 trailer, Season 4 villain, the Vecna, in person of Jamie Campbell-Bower, tells Eleven, Millie Bobby Brown, that it is over. He particularly said to her, "Now, I just want you to watch. Your friends have lost." That sends shivers down my spine. But just before we dive right into that, let us run through a quick reminder of how the first volume of Season 4 ended. Oh, wait, guys. Where you've just gotten yourself into is a Net Explosives YouTube platform. An hub full of information with awesome dose of entertainment. Infotainment is the life in here. And to enjoy more of all we've got in stock for you, do well to hit the subscribe button right away and turn on post notification for added advantage. You definitely won't be disappointed. And once more, you're most welcome, guys. As to how the first volume of Season 4 ended, let's keep it short. Two factions of the Hawkins gang have discovered Vecna's true identity, while the other two are trying to get back to their hometown to help Eleven. Joyce and Maury, being the genius that they are, have taken over the Russian prison and had this teary reunion with Hopper, the Hawkins police officer. Mike, Will, Jonathan, and Hargrove got Susie, Dustin's girlfriend, to help them find Eleven's location, and are headed to Nevada to save her. Nancy, Steve, Robin, and Eddie, who were at some point trapped in the Upside Down, finally found a gate out of the Upside Down with the help of Dustin, Max, Lucas, and Erica. However, while they are going through the gate one after the other, Nancy falls under Vecna's spell due to her guilt over Barb's death. Trust you all remember how Vecna operates, as revealed in the first volume. He gets to his victim by guilty conscience. 11 in the first volume, having been captured to be prepared and rebranded for the looming doom about to befall Hawkins, has been reliving her memories to relearn how to use her powers, having lost them towards the end of the series' third season. She finally gets to know in whose image she was made, her actual prototype being Henry Creel, also known as Number 1, the very origin of Dr. Brenner's experiments and his first test subjects. 11 gets into a fight with Number 1, and in this bloody fight, she sends Number 1 into the Upside Down, where he becomes an inexplicable terror known as Vecna. That's the last we see of 11, who is still in the experiment at the time. There seems to be some sort of confusion as touching the timeline. Actually, as per Duffer, these events apparently happened 2 years before the events of Season 1. The script never at any point loses connection. It is altogether amazing and carefully written enough to blow any mind at all. Kudos to the entire team. In an interview with Variety on the 2nd of June 2022, the series co-creator, Ross Duffer by name, issued a warning to fans and the anticipating general public. The warning goes thus: "I would be concerned about the characters going into Volume 2 for sure. I hope this is sort of the sense, because it is a darker season and the kids are no longer kids. So everybody is in danger. and there is sort of an ominous feeling that things might not go well. Now, whether they do or not, you will have to watch. This has kept all fingers crossed, as it is obvious and has left us with not too good a feeling that most of Eleven's friends and helpers, if not all, might this time perish in the Upside Down. Vecna looks way more dangerous than all the villains we've met in all previous seasons put together. About the second volume's trailer. With less than a week to go before Volume 2 drops, Netflix has released a full trailer that gives quite a lot of hints as to what to expect from the season's final gang battle against Vecna and the entire Upside Down world. One informative clip shows all the Hawkins kids, including Erica and Nancy, looking frightened from a vision of Vecna, the horrific, deadly creature formerly human, riding in a recreational vehicle right towards something. The threatening voiceover features Brenner, the doctor, saying, "Your friends are not prepared for this fight. Hawkins will fall." I would suggest you have a piece at hand as you watch. It might come handy when your eyes go teary, and a glass of water even, to chill your heart when it gets racing and beats harder than you prepared for. Well, other clips include Max wearing a trusty Walkman, which makes sense since Running Up That Hill soundtracks the old trailer. Eddie picking up a guitar in the Upside Down as Steve enters through a gate. Hopper and Co. looking at whatever the Russians have in their weird Upside Down museum, which actually looks like a piece of the Mind Flayer. And Will hugging Jonathan as the two brothers sob. We also see Brenner telling Eleven that she's not ready, and Ruben saying something like, "It might not work out for us this time." All of these just to trigger some kinds of emotions in us. We get it already. While we'll try to stay strong and glued to our screens, we will let out the cry if at all it hits that climax. We aren't holding back anything. The cast have grown to become friends so dear to our heart, even from the screen. You know, the 2-minute trailer ends with pics of the Hawkins gang's big fight. Hopper and his saviors fighting off the Demogorgons in the Russian prison. That fight for survival was unimaginably crazy. As for Lucas, he's seen punching Bully Jason for some reason. Never knew Lucas could punch that hard anyways. They are all grown ups now actually, so it's quite understandable. Eleven at her own end, as shown in the trailer, is seen standing in front of a huge explosion in the Nevada desert. And finally, Vecna says, "Your friends have lost." And the sound of that hasn't gotten down well with me yet. It has left my heart twitching here and there ever since the first time I saw the trailer. I really can't wait for the 1st of July to be here already. Quite a lot of viewers stuck around after the closing shot of the 7th episode of Season 4 first volume. They were rewarded with a mind-blowing surprise teaser for Volume 2. The action-packed 30 seconds clip picks up right after 11 sent number 1, that is Vecna, into the Upside Down. "It is over, 11. You have freed me," the monster, picking his words one after the other, says in a voiceover, with his present-day voice glaringly suggesting that he is saying these to 11 outside of the experiment. The reward teaser also comes with brief flashes of future scenes, including Dr. Brenner looking at the cracks remaining from the closed portal opened by 11 after she sends Vecna to the Upside Down world through the wall of one of the rooms in Season 1 Experiment House. The stakes are high that we will spend some time with the sadistic scientist, 11's first papa. Another flash from such future scenes is one where Steve, Nancy, and Robin are shown looking at one of Vecna's clock in the Upside Down, suggesting that Robin went back through the gate to break Nancy out of the villain's trance, looking much more like a spell. Then, Dustin and Eddie decked out in makeshift armor. All of these put together set our patience on the edge. As for Upper, it looks like E, Joyce, and Murray will be stuck in the Russian prison for a really long while, where they stand in front of a dusty museum display with an upside-down monster, the one we know so well, Demogorgon, inside. They also find a bigger tank filled with what looks like the same sanded spirit that appeared when the Mind Flayer's consciousness left Will in season 2. It is about to get really crazy from this point onward, as we are now about to discuss a few theories gathered on who might perish in the Upside Down. Let's see. Speaking about Steve Harrington, Alyssa Ray has this to say. I hate to say it, but Steve Harrington, played by Joe Keery, seems the most at risk for me. As a dedicated Stranger Things fan, I've learned that the minute I start rooting for a character, the Duffer Brothers will kill them off. And that's exactly what is happening to Steve in Season 4, Volume 2. Volume 1 kept teasing a possible romantic reunion between Nancy, Natalia Dyer, who is currently dating Jonathan, Charlie Heaton, and Steve. This love triangle drama has gone on long enough in the series, so it is likely a red herring. It is getting us emotionally invested in the pair before killing one of them, namely Steve, off. Not to mention, Steve continuously puts himself in harm's way, protecting everyone from best friend Robin, Maya Hawke, to mentee Dustin, Gaten Matarazzo. There is only so many times that this character can evade death. And don't forget, the Duffer Brothers originally wanted to kill off Steve in season 1. His clock is certainly running out. Well, let's see. Will everything said about Alyssa Ray concerning Steve Harrington actually come true in the volume 2 of season 4? We'll all see and know what's gonna happen. On to the very next death theory. Eddie Munson is to be considered here, and Tierney Bricker has this to say about Eddie Munson. Not to be dramatic, but even if Eddie Joseph Quinn really was leading a demonic cult through D&D, I would totally join it for several reasons. Number 1, that cool shirt. Number 2, have you seen his hair? Number 3, he is the shot, so take a big whiff. Which is why it pains me to share my gut feeling that the Duffer Brothers are going to break my heart by having my quippy metalhead sacrifice himself to save Nancy when the show returns. Bad news first always, right? Here is why I think Eddie is going to be Vecna's next victim. They hinted at a hero turn for Eddie the moment he admitted he is not exactly the hero type. Of course, that is exactly the person who will end up dying heroically. And did anyone else see that guitar just waiting to be used to perform a rousing rock number that will have Nancy running up the hill, climbing down the rope? At least it will go out with a bang, and we hope there is a chilled six-pack waiting for him on the other side. Oh no, it is Will Byers this time, the very first victim of the Upside Down. And concerning him, Paige Stroud has this to say. We all know Vecna targets people who have gone through trauma. And if there is one Stranger Things character who has experienced plenty of trauma over the past few years, it is Will Byers, Noah Schnapp. From being transported into the Upside Down in season 1 to getting possessed by the Mind Flayer in season 2, poor Will has been through the ringer. Based on trailers for season 4's return, it is likely the Will and the rest of the California crew will return to Hawkins, thus setting up Will as the perfect target for Vecna. The biggest piece of evidence supporting this theory comes from Schnapp's Instagram, where he posted a picture of himself in costume with a harness on. The post looks reminiscent of one from director and executive producer Shawn Levy's own Instagram, where he shared a BTS pic of Sadie Sink filming a Vecna possession scene from episode 4. We will have to wait until July 1st to see what happens, but Will's odds aren't looking so good. And right now, Alison Christ has this to say about the possibility of Jonathan Byers dying. The writing's on the wall for Jonathan. Not only has he been relatively absent this season, whereas in the past, he had been a driving force as a big brother, love interest, and key investigator into Hawkins' many mysteries. But the show also seems to be building toward a Steve and Nancy reunion. And what better way to bring them together without Nancy having to break Jonathan's heart than him tragically dying? In all likelihood, Jonathan will pull a Billy and sacrifice himself for Will. It is with great pain, of which I can relate with, that Daniel Traynor said this about Lucas Sinclair's possibility to die in the coming volume. It pains me to write this, but I fear my dear sweet Lucas, Caleb McLaughlin, is about to meet his end. We know that Max, Erica, and Lucas head back to Creel House in the final episodes of Volume 2, which is already a bad sign. But the thriller shows an absolutely terrified looking Lucas staring up at something with an ominous shadow behind him. Maybe a stranger has come to help, or more likely, Vecna is about to do his worst. Knowing Lucas, I wouldn't even be surprised if he sacrifices himself for Erica, Max, or both. That's just the kind of guy that he is. Conclusively on the death theories, Sidney Contreras has said this about Nancy Wheeler's dying possibility. In the Upside Down, there is no knowing what Vecna is capable of. And for Nancy, it seems he might be able to draw on her guilt surrounding the season 1's death of her old friend Barb, Shannon Pursuer. When viewers last saw Nancy, she was being pulled under Vecna's spell, in which she was transported to a place that looked very similar to the pool where Barb died. Here is hoping Steve can shake Nancy out of the trance. So, having brought all of these to you as your number one infotainment YouTube channel, you all should get yourself strapped to your seat of patience and expect the mind-blowing blockbuster, even as it drops sooner than our patience can take. Just keep fingers crossed and stay calm at the same time. You all rock for watching, guys. Do also like this video if you love it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and make sure your notification bell is turned on. We go again to return with something more informative, entertaining, and educative. Infotainment is the culture still, and net explosives to the world.